This is actually a really sad truth. The truth of the matter is a lot of people don't understand how many differences there are in this sport. They don't realize how many different types of lanes they are. For instance, if I turn this around, you'll notice here we have this type of surface. This lane surface is called an HPL. This is a synthetic lane surface. To the naked eye, most people look at these and they just say, oh, they're just made of wood. These are actually more of a plastic base than anything. Now, if I walk you around here, you can see we actually have some leftover panels here, but over here, let's see if we can get to them. This is what the old lanes were. Although still technically a synthetic surface, you can see they're still made of like a plastic. This is a much higher friction surface. This is an old surface. I don't even remember what it was called, but it was made in China. But these lanes were in here a while back. Yeah, here you go. Here's a little bit better look. You can see these look a little bit like the Pro Anvil lane that you see on a lot of lanes, which are another plastic type of lane, but these are a much higher friction. If you were to rub your hands across this, you'll actually notice that it's a little bit rougher than what you would feel for a plastic lane. There also is wood lanes, actually actual true wood lanes, which is made out of just a typical like wood, you know, so or a pine or whatever you would say, and then they coat it with a almost like a plastic clear coat over it when they put the oil on the lanes. That's another subject, is people don't realize that the oil on the lanes is different either. But when we come back here to where the pins and everything are, the machines, if we take a little hop up here, you can see the pins down in here. And let me see if I can get one out for you. Grab one of these. You can see this is a wooden pin with a plastic coating. Now, these are actually newer pins that were put in here not that long ago. And I'll see if we still have some of the older ones, but we can we can see the difference between them. So as you can see, this is one of the older pins. Actually got caught in the machine and had some damage done to it. But when you look at it, you can see that it takes a beating. And these get beat up. The plastic on the outside actually causes the pins to move differently. The more they get beat up, the less they fly around, the less they bounce and create that motion that you see across. So when you look at the difference between a new pin and the old pin, clear difference. Now here you can see that there's actually oil on the lanes. So if I rub my finger across there, you can see the streak that my finger leaves. Now, the way they put the oil on the lanes makes a big difference. On this outside, you'll notice over here, you can see how much drier it is in this part, and then you see the oil over there. The reason they do that is so that way when bowlers miss to the right, the ball creates friction and curves back towards the pins. Then also, if the bowler misses to the inside, into all that oil, you can see how bright and shiny that oil is compared to over here. If they miss in there, their ball is actually going to skid through there a little bit easier. It's not going to hook. It creates less friction, so now it stays on target. What a lot of people don't realize is when these guys are on TV bowling on what they call our sport patterns or PBA patterns, those lanes are oiled completely different than what you just saw here. Those lanes are oiled all the way across the lane. So there's oil to the right and left, and then there's no dry boards in the middle until it's created by the bowling balls that go down the lane. That's another topic we can talk about, is the bowling balls and how much they change the lane, how much they actually affect how much oil is on the lane and where that oil is moved. Because the oil moves down lane. It gets picked up in the front and it moves down lane. So these patterns that are made for the PBA guys and for the tougher conditions, it makes it to where you don't have that automatic miss room. If you miss to the right, there's not dry boards over there to help your ball back to the pocket. If you miss to the left, there's not enough oil in the middle that actually holds your ball on line. So you have to be more accurate, you have to be more precise, and you have to be a little bit better with ball choices and making sure you're creating the correct shapes on the lanes. A lot of people really don't know this. I know a lot of people watching this probably do, as far as my followers on my YouTube channel and everything else. Y'all probably understand this, but a lot of bowlers, a lot of people who are just recreational bowlers, or even people who don't know bowling much, they just assume that all the lanes are the same, all the pins are the same, all the oil is the same, or some people don't even know that there's oil on the lanes. So, hope this helps. Appreciate y'all. We'll see you later.